Hello, everyone. Welcome into Siren Records Monterey. It's Fresh Catch Friday, and if you're new here, we normally take some of the new releases that have come out on vinyl today, and a few stragglers that have only just made it through the door, and give you a little. A little heads up that they're out and a little bit about them and that kind of thing. And if you like music and you're interested to know what's coming out, some of the things at least every week, then I would urge you to hit that subscribe button down below, give us a like, give us a thumbs up, and all that good stuff. And hopefully comment. We like to know what you think too. All right, so normally we always start out with our pick of the week this week, because there's kind of a few variants in this edition, so I thought let's just keep it to one thing. And it's a real kind of a bittersweet moment, because it is Black Country New Road, and it is Ants from Up There. This is on Ninja Tune, and this is the sophomore album from this British kind of post-punk indie. They with their first album, they really reminded us all of Slint and The Fall, and even a little touch of Nick Cave in there. Really cool, great stuff. This album, furthers that. It's really good. It's they seem, this band, to play. It's their 7-piece. They play as though they're like a single cohesive unit. They're so tuned up to each other, and that is such growth as artists. And you'll run every emotion just listening to this record. It's this Isaac Woods, his voice has kind of got this very distinct and kind of tortured sound. It made such a strong impression on their debut record, and now it's become even more interesting. It's like a significant leap forward for these guys. It's got more nuanced feel. It's got better songwriting. I mean, they've just improved upon everything. But then the sad thing, Isaac Woods, who's their guitarist and lead vocalist, has decided 4 days prior to the release of this record, he quit the band. So I don't know what the future holds for them, and that's what I mean when I say it's kind of bittersweet, because this is like a real gift they've got here, and now it's obviously going to be completely different. So if it carries on at all. Sad, but anyway, there's multiple ways that this is coming for you. This is on 140-gram black vinyl. It's got a gatefold sleeve and a lyric booklet. You can also get it this way, and this is a variant cover, and this is on a limited edition 140-gram blue marbled double with a gatefold sleeve and inverted artwork in a lyric booklet. Okay. So, yes, inverted artwork. See, it's going the other direction, and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, so that one is on blue marbled vinyl. And then here's the big mambo on this is the deluxe edition. This one is a box set and lyric book plus 4 art prints, 140-gram, 4 LPs, and it's got the last 2 LPs are kind of selections that are live from Queen Elizabeth Hall. So that is available for you now too. So anyway, wow, I guess going out on a high, as they say, certainly that, but what a shame. Who knows what the future will hold. Anyway, let's get to it with some of these new releases here. All right, first up, here we go. This is Ryan Adams, Big Colors on Pax Am. Now, this is the 18th studio album. Ryan Adams, of course, American singer-songwriter. Originally, this was slated for release in April of 2019, but it was delayed following these sexual misconduct allegations that were brought against him. So anyway, it was eventually released in June of 2021 through his own Pax Am label. It's a solid record. The guitars and arrangements undeniably sound like a 1980s kind of soundtrack, but it's much more of a pop record in comparison to his previous release called Wednesdays. Now, I don't know. I feel like he's just going to keep making records until somebody listens. I feel like he's just so canceled that I don't know how much of a career he actually has left. He's definitely a talented musician, writer, and but an asshole, no doubt about it. But this is how, kind of, let's say, unfair maybe that the music world is, because you got to think about this for a minute. You've got Chris Brown, who like literally used to beat the shit out of Rihanna, but he's still making records and he's not canceled, and he's getting all kinds of glowing reviews from Rolling Stone and Pitchfork and all that kind of stuff. So you've got the other guy who's like a producer that was accused of assaulting Kesha. That guy is still making records for people, and crying all the way to the bank, I guess you could say. So there's a lot of people out there that are really sketchy, but interesting how some can be like completely like, we don't want to hear it, and these other ones slip through the net and carry on life like nothing's different. I mean, rock stars have always been fairly problematic, but from their advent in like the 60s and 70s, no one was thinking about being PC or, what was okay and what was not okay. This is kind of like a new thing. But, anyway, I just think that there's a real double standard sometimes. And, I'm no real big fan of Ryan Adams, but I just kind of, when I think about people like Chris Brown, it's like, wait a minute, something's not adding up here. Anyway, there you go. Next thing here is, I've got my paperwork kind of backwards this time, so I'm kind of going to fumble this a little bit, you guys, if you just bear with me. Okay, this is Avenged Sevenfold. It's called Waking the Fallen, and this is on Hopeless Records. It was the second studio album by this American heavy metal band, Avenged Sevenfold. It was released in 2003 through Hopeless, and it's the band's first full-length album with new lead guitarist Sinister Gates and bassist Johnny Christ. The album also leans more towards heavy metal rather than punk rock, with comparisons to like melodic death metal, thrash metal, and power metal. This comes to us on oxblood colored vinyl with a digital download. All right. And then this we listened to today. Actually, I think that, this was really good. I enjoyed this. This is Bastille, and it was called Give Me the Future, and it's through EMI Records, the fourth studio album by this British indie pop band Bastille. It's very like a real sleek pop record that explores millennial anxiety in a world of rapidly evolving tech. So the living life on your own terms and the self-empowerment that comes with losing yourself in a virtual world. Rather than a critique of the social media generation, though, this London band's fourth album is more about finding joy, which is a nice thing, of course, and whatever your surroundings. So there's a quote from the closing track on this that is called Future Holds, and it says, "Who knows what the future holds? Doesn't matter if I've got you," which I thought was really quite sweet. And it's on orange colored vinyl that's very similar to this orange right here. So that's Bastille. Okay, now this also is a reissue for you of the first record of Backcountry New Road for the first time. This one is also from Ninja Tune, and this is their debut, and it creates this like post-punk haven for kind of unfiltered pretension and paranoia. And the album received widespread acclaim from music critics for its experimental sound and poetic lyricism. So, gosh, you could pick up both now too, before they all go away. This comes to us on evergreen, translucent, I think, colored vinyl, and that's why that one has been put in the new release section for today. Okay, this one is, bring it up here. Okay, this is Elvis Costello and the Imposters through EMI. It's called A Boy Named If, and it is the 32nd studio album, and it's an album of urgent and immediate songs with bright melodies and stinging guitar solos and a quick step to the rhythm. This was technically out a couple of weeks ago, but the reason I'm showing it to you now was because the black vinyl was out a couple of weeks ago. This is the limited edition colored vinyl, and I think that we decided that that was the only version we were going to bring in, only because although I don't dispute the man's greatness, Elvis doesn't really blow out the door anymore like it used to. So the colored vinyl is much more attractive to our specific clientele. And that's why, and it's a beautiful violet orchid opaque colored vinyl. So I'm just saying that's the reason for that. Anyway, this is kind of a nice thing too. Elvis Costello, the quote from him says, "The full title of this record is The Boy Named If and Other Children's Stories. And If is a nickname for your imaginary friend, your secret self, the one who knows everything you deny, the one you blame for shattered crockery and the hearts you break, even your own." I thought that was just, well, it's very Elvis, and it's very, it's kind of sincere and sweet, and anyway, love it. So anyway, limited edition, orchid vinyl, double vinyl, and it's here for you now. Okay, and then this is Danzig 5, Black Acid Devil, picture disc. This is from Cleopatra. Am I holding that up right? Yeah, there you go. Kind of hard to read the Danzig, but it's there. And this is a reissue of one of the most groundbreaking and experimental albums from rock and metal legend Danzig. Originally released in 1996, this album is widely regarded as Danzig's boldest move yet, making deliberate stylistic shift by incorporating elements of industrial and dark electronic music. The album features an all-new supporting cast behind powerhouse vocalist and leader Glenn Danzig. Including future, I don't know how to say this, Quotsa, drummer Joey Castillo, keyboardist Joseph Bishara, and contributions from Alice in Chains' Jerry Cantrell on 3 of the tracks, which I thought was kind of interesting. So that's here for us now, and I think there's an upcoming another version of that that's going to be on some kind of a glittery kind of vinyl, but that might be next week. This week it's the picture disc. Okay, next up, Fit for an Autopsy, Oh, What the Future Holds on Nuclear Blast. And this is the 6th full-length album from Fit for an Autopsy. It sees them at their most refined level of musicianship and songwriting yet, without sacrificing any of their fury. So each musician in this band they perform these complex parts that showcase their expertise with their instrument, but they manage to work together cohesively instead of competing with one another. So that's, again, a real step forward in growth. Very nice. Comes 2 ways to us. Green in clear with yellow, blue, and brown splatter vinyl, limited to 1,250 copies, or same looking cover, just the sticker will tell you which one it is. Glow in the dark with brown splatter vinyl, limited to 1,250. All right. All right, and next. All right, this one is the Goo Goo Dolls Greatest Hits Volume 1, the singles. This is on Warner Records, and it was originally released on CD in 2007. Long overdue, first time on vinyl release here. The singles, it's spanning an incredibly productive and successful era for the band. It includes all their hit singles from 1995 to 2006. It contains every hit single from Dizzy Up the Girl to Let Love In, a newly recorded track, Before It's Too Late from Transformers motion picture, and a newly recorded version of their first hit single called Name. All right. I would have thought that would have been on colored vinyl, but it's not. That one's just black, which is fine, of course. Next up is Grayscale. This is called Umbra, and it's on the Fearless label. Their 3rd full-length release. They're from Philadelphia. They show a clear refinement of their sound. Sounds punchier and catchier than ever before. They were once a very angsty pop punk band, and they kind of come into their own here with this kind of a little bit more elegance, I would say. Umbra doesn't reinvent the wheel, but it does give it like a fresh coat of paint that keeps it moving forward with a little bit of momentum. So we always like to see growth in bands, don't we? We don't like to see them sitting still. Okay, this, I know we've talked about it already, and I'm thinking perhaps it's just the color variant, which is why it's in the new release pile. It's High on Fire, De Vermis Mysterious. It's on MNRK Records. It's 180 gram Black Ice 2 LP vinyl reissue of their 6th studio album. Album's title translation means The Mysteries of the Worm. It's a nod to a fictional grimoire conceived by the late great psycho author Robert Bloch in 1935 and later incorporated into horror master H.P. Lovecraft's renowned Cthulhu mythos. Comes with a download. There you go. Okay, this is Don Julian and the Larks, and it is called Super Slick, and this is on Money Records. But this is from Real Gone Music, is where we're getting it from. Don Julian was a Los Angeles-based doo-wopper who got his start leading a band called the Meadowlarks. They recorded a number of sides for Doo-Tone Records. The Meadowlarks then became the Larks, who, like so many other R&B groups of that era, they achieved a one-hit wonder immortality with a dance craze song, 1964's The Jerk. They spent the rest of the 60s trying to recapture that magic. This is on blue marbled vinyl that kind of is there to match the sleeve, okay? There's a few of these Real Gone Music releases out this week. They're kind of interesting. But that Don Julian, that's kind of one of the holy grails for 70s funk collectors. You know, it gets a proper reissue here. And I think the original release on the Money label would cost you a lot of money to get that. So Real Gone Music's making it more affordable for everyone. And also from Real Gone Music, we have Kool and the Gang, self-titled. We've seen this before, but now they're bringing it on purple vinyl. 1970 debut album from Kool and the Gang. It scored a couple of hits with the Gang's Back Again and the title cut, and it's a unique mixture of jazz, funk, and R&B punctuated by these great horn arrangements and some really great drum breaks, and that kind of characterizes Kool and the Gang, their early stuff before, disco, and this was even before vocals. This was instrumental, and really in full force. Then also original copies of this, pretty expensive. So now they're bringing it to you in a purple vinyl and much more affordable. All right, next up, excuse me, we have Lady Gaga, Dawn of Chromatica. This is on Interscope, and this is a reinvention of her 6th consecutive #1 studio album, Chromatica. This is Dawn of Chromatica, and it's executive produced by Blood Pop and features new collaborations and remixes of the original album. And some of the names on here, I don't know who this is. I think you have to be a certain kind of person to be really into who's remixing and doing stuff, but maybe it means something to you guys. Ashnico, Bree Runway, Charlie XCX, Chester Lockhart, Clarence Clarity, Choo Choo, Cuckoo Chloe, Doss, Jimmy Edgar. I mean, I don't know, if these names mean a lot to you guys. But the collaborative artists that they are were sourced by publicly asking fans who they would like to see on this project. Anyway, it's here for you now. It's on clear vinyl. Okay, then we have Lady Ray. I think this was really out last week, but she's finally meandered on in. And this is Piece of Me. It's on the Big Crown label. She's successfully taken a bigger dive into her own unique style of playing with what's possible in deep soul and R&B. It's different from her recent R&B releases that hold themes of letting go. This one holds a theme of letting in and being grateful for it before releasing what no longer serves, which is, kind of a nice thing too. It's on Deep Emerald vinyl. Okay, these are also from Real Gone Music, these two reissues. This is Lonnie Liston-Smith, Astral Traveling, the debut album from keyboardist Lonnie Liston-Smith, featuring performances recorded in 1973 and released by the Flying Dutchman label. He came up playing with Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers, Max Roach, Rahsaan Roland Kirk, and Pharoah Sanders. And before landing in Miles Davis's group from 1972 to 1974. So Astral Traveling is his debut as a leader, finally on his own. He's armed with this real strong sense of groove, and he's got these really, what could you say, like real chunky, like gripping kind of flowing lines on his Fender Rhodes and acoustic piano. They're just he's well supported by this aptly named band of his called Cosmic Echoes, who texture the kind of celestial funk vibe that he's got going. Hand drums, Eastern percussion, as well as the more typical jazz bass guitar and saxophone. But a really, really strong debut that's available for you now again. And in addition to that debut, we have his second, which was Real Gone Music. Sorry, there's somebody's alarm going off outside. This one's digitally remastered edition of this 1974 album. It's called Cosmic Funk, and having made his name as a sideman for, like I said, Art Blakey, Rahsaan Roland Kirk, and Gato Barbieri, among others, he was keen to kind of make his first album as a leader once he began working with Miles Davis. So he signed with Flying Dutchman. He formed his own group, the Cosmic Echoes. In his first album, the one we just looked at, Astral Traveling, it performed pretty well, and so he was invited back to make Cosmic Funk. And this is a conscious development of the space-influenced jazz that he was like really starting to get into and play. So mixing kind of like funk rhythm with percussive elements and modal themes, it could be termed as spiritual jazz. And it moves beyond simple characterization. The album also adds the distinctive voice of Lonnie's brother Donald to the band for the first time. Talking too much. All right, this is Paul McCartney, Wildlife, for the Capitol, and this is a reissue. It was originally released in December of 1971. This edition was cut at half speed using high-resolution transfers of the original master tapes at Abbey Road Studios in July of 2021. Wildlife was the debut studio album by Wings and the third studio album by Paul McCartney after the breakup of the Beatles. So that is sounding much better than ever now that they've remastered that at half speed. Okay, now next up, I think people have been really kind of waiting on this as well, and I'm a little perplexed by this, I'll be honest. This is Mitski, Laurel Hell, and this is on Dead Oceans. And I like Mitski, but this kind of was a lot, to my mind, of a lot more of the same. I don't feel like it was like anything real new. Maybe it takes a couple of listens and maybe it's a grower, but she kind of cements her reputation as an artist capable of, using her talent to really kind of turn savage and alienated experiences into the very elixir that cures them. She's good at that, very good lyrics in that way. Anyway, she's, pretty much cemented herself as an indie star at this point. She wrote many of the songs during or before 2018, while the album finished mixing in May of 2021. The longest span of time Mitski has ever spent on a record, and a process that concluded amid a radically changed world. She recorded Laurel Hell with her longtime producer, Patrick Hyland, throughout an isolation of the global pandemic, during which some of the songs slowly took on new forms and meanings, like seed to flower. So there's a number of ways that you can get this, and this is what is perplexing me a little about this whole situation. Now you can get this on cassette, and also on black vinyl, on opaque red vinyl with a digital download, and the red sticker is the opaque red vinyl. This is what the black vinyl looks like. It doesn't have the sticker, but here's the here's where it starts losing me. There are 4 CD cover variants to let me see if I can hold this up for you in a way that you can see what I'm talking about. God, all right. So each CD, you could kind of put it together. Whoops. Do you see where I'm going with this? And it's going to, I can't hold them all up at the same time. How does it? Damn it. Come on, Mitski. Let me see. That one goes there. This one. Okay. There we go. All right, I'm going to try it to show you. Okay. See, it's her face. So each CD represents a different cover, and you can put it together. But again, we talked about this before. I think this is asking a lot of your fan base. You really are supposed to buy the same CD 4 times just to make a picture. I don't know what is that? I don't understand it. I think that that's just asking a little too much, and I'm not going for it. So anyway, good music, great, but the CD thing, I'm over it. If you come in the store and buy it, we do also have these lenticular postcards that has an image of her on the front that kind of goes black to color. Okay. Yeah, a little confused by that whole move there. I don't know. Dead Oceans, what are you guys thinking? All right, then we have Poppy, Flux. This is on the Sumerian Records label, and even though it's not as stylistically wild as like her prior stuff, it's a step forward for her songwriting and her ability to command like a full band. No longer just like the girl in the computer. She's become a fully realized human with this very authentic work that she's done here. A set of really excellent songs. It's cohesive and largely underrated collection too. It's got 2 variants of it as well. It's on black and aqua blue galaxy or black in electric blue vinyl. And this one is tough because they look exactly alike and there's no stickers on them. So what you'd have to do, for example, if you came into the store, the barcode reads different, and that will tell you like what color it is. You can just take it up to the guys at the counter if you're here, and they'll shoot it for you, and it'll tell you what color variant it is. So I hate when they do that, but what are we going to do? Okay, next up, this is Saxon, Carpe Diem. This is on the Militia Guard Music label, British heavy metal heroes hailing from Barnsley in the UK. This is a statement drawing on a variety of ingredients from their career to forge what is Saxon's most dynamic release in many years. It's a very intense album, and that's all down to the fact that the essence of a great metal song, the riff starts it, and this album has loads of them. So new stuff for Saxon that you might be surprised to find that they're still around. Okay, next up, Smoke DZA, Homegrown, Smoke. No, the album is called Homegrown, and the color of the vinyl is a smoke yellow. This is from Cinematic Music Group. Now, I believe that there's 2 variants of this. This one is just a single, but I think there's another one that comes in a gatefold and has a different art on the cover, but this is the one that we have. It's his 8th studio album. Homegrown features an all-star lineup, including Wiz Khalifa, Cameron, Jack Harlow, Currency, Judakis, Flip De Niro, Jim Jones, and Big Crit. This album is a true definition of New York hip hop. It's a staple in New York City and the weed community, and the release celebrates both and speaks to the correlation that exists between DZA and your neighborhood grocer. So yes, pressed on that smoke yellow vinyl here for you now. And I know we saw this as well, but I think that there is, again, more color variants, I want to say. It's the Blade Runner Black Lotus soundtrack, and it's either on violet or neon green, and that is listed here. It'll tell you which variant it is, so read closely. It's original soundtrack to the Wes Anderson, Blade Runner, Black Lotus. It's an original television soundtrack. It is a dynamic multi-genre album with global appeal that soundtracks each episode of the 13-part series. Part of the American neo-noir science fiction media franchise originating from the 1968 novel Do Androids Dream or Electric Sheep? Blade Runner Black Lotus makes history as the first female-led character in the franchise. It's a triple gatefold jacket, 140 gram, either neon violet or neon green vinyl. And I know that we had that before, and I don't remember what color it was or anything. It's just you know how these things go. They just keep on. Okay, this one is a soundtrack to the French Dispatch. It's on the Abco label. This is the original soundtrack to Wes Anderson's film, The French Dispatch. The Franco-centric soundtrack features an original score by Oscar winner Alexandre Desplat, music by E. Georges Delure, Grace Jones, and Charles Aznavour. That sounds like a real lineup, doesn't it? Wow. And it's got a new version of the pop hit Aline, recorded by Jarvis Cocker, of course, Jarvis Cocker and Friends, Jarvis from Pulp. The film revolves around a fictitious newspaper based in a fictional French city of Ennui-sur-Blaze, starring Benicio del Toro, Timothy Chalamet, and Frances McDormand. And from what I understand, it is an excellent movie, and I want to see it. All right. Here we have Tropical Fuck Storm, Deep States on the Joyful Noise label. You have a record that defies easy categorization. It's reminiscent only of the restlessness embodied by outfits like Liars. Their music feels trippy and amorphous, and their lyrical focus is often surprisingly specific. Okay, this is on orange vinyl. It comes with a digital download, and all right. Next up, Stanley Turrentine, Rough and Tumble, Blue Note, and this is part of that Tone Poet series. It's on Blue Note. So this is his 1966 soul jazz classic. Finds deep and bluesy groove that doesn't let up from start to finish. And joining the creme de la creme, God, why can't I talk? It's the creme de la creme playing on this record. You have Blue Mitchell on trumpet, Pepper Adams on baritone saxophone, James Spaulding on alto saxophone, McCoy Tyner on piano, Grant Green on guitar, Bob Crenshaw on bass, and Mickey Roker on drums. The highlights include soulful covers of Ray Charles's What Could I Do Without You and Feelin' Good, which Nina Simone had recorded the year before. So again, that Blue Note Tone Poet is audiophile vinyl, mastered from the original analog tapes, and in a gatefold now. Okay, then this is various artists' West Side Story soundtrack, 2 LPs on Hollywood Records. And this is an adaptation of the 1957 musical West Side Story that explores forbidden love and the rivalry between the Jets and the Sharks, 2 teenage street gangs of different ethnic backgrounds. So directed by Steven Spielberg with original music by Leonard Bernstein and performance from the cast including Ansel Elgort, Rachel Zegler, Ariana DeBois, and Mike Feist, and more. So, you know, a little bit of a updated version of that. Okay, and lastly, we have Vori, and this is self-titled. It's all called Vori. It's 2 LPs on the Dream Chasers label, and with Meek Mill and the Dream Chasers team backing him, Vori releases his self-titled album, and it came out in the winter of 2020, but boasting features from Meek, Landstrip, Chip, Beam, and others. This is a 15-track body of work. It showcases his relatably, authentic lyrics and his genre-bending versatility. So this comes with 1 black album and 1 vinyl, black vinyl album and 1 yellow vinyl. So that's kind of, again, I guess why we're seeing it in new releases, because of the color. Okay, so that kind of gives you a little taster of what came out this week. There's plenty more, but this is what I have to show you for right now. I hope that there's something in there that finds its way to you. And if you're local, we're having a big sale on specific vinyl. There's like a few different sheets of just page after page of really, really good discount stuff. So I'm sorry if you're not local, but yes, if you are, please come in and do that. We still have the CDs of the weekend that are autographed with the art card inside. We still have those, so it'd be a good weekend to come on in and get some sale items, get some new releases, and maybe grab a signed weekend CD. Okay, so everybody have a great weekend, and I will see you next time. And thanks for joining me. And music is life. Vinyl is forever. See you next time.